Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Tyler Perry's Sistas. So, before I get started, I wanted to share something with y'all, which is that Unicurl is an amazing product. I love this company. It is a black owned business. I did a black owned business spotlight on them like a month or so ago, if that. And I shared the products that I use. And one of the last videos that I put up, I showed the product that I did add, which was a hair gel that I will be using at some point in time. But I loaded up and it's to the point where I'm not going to have to purchase from them for quite some time, and I've been using this product religiously for the last like month or two, and I love it. My curls are juicy, moisturized, and all that good stuff. And I mean, I laid on my hair, and I'm surprised I still even have some curls to speak of right now. So it's definitely doing its job. I love it. Going ahead and head over to unicurl.com, UNIQURL, or actually go over to their Instagram and you can go over into their bio and click on the link and find it the same exact way. Love them, smells amazing, all that good stuff. They have a lot of different products over there. I just wanted to pick from a select few that I knew that I would be using, and I am in love. Whoa, child, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this recap review. I'm very much so dreading it, but okay. So anyway, the episode started where it left off, and Andy is left with the question of, do you want to do this? Like, say yes. Gary want her to, say, yeah, let's go ahead and go through with this marriage. And I'm just like, I can't. I'm tired. Like, everybody is tired in their spirit. Everybody looking like, okay, we knew this was a setup. Like, so we knew something wasn't right, but we didn't know what it was. Like, now everything is making sense. One thing, like, there's just so much that keeps popping off. That's like, okay, nah, you doing the most. You still controlling. Don't nobody have time. Okay, you a fool. But Andy ain't seeing it like that. I'm not understanding why she's not remembering things that have popped off. But let me digress. I'll get back into that in a minute. So, of course, he wants to know, are you down? Do you want to do this? And so everybody looking like, girl, what? Karen is immediately like, no, we need to go talk in the back. Like, the most that popped off. Y'all, Aaron didn't bust up out of nowhere. And I'm looking like, why are you here? Aaron is there because he went and picked up a marriage certificate. And Andy, was trying to figure out how they were going to even get married when they don't have a marriage certificate for it to actually be legally binding. And he was like, oh, I took care of that. And of course, he popped up on cue. And I'm just like, Am I forgetting something? Like, isn't she supposed to be one of the people that is present to sign said marriage license? I'm not understanding. How did he just pick up anything and say, oh, well, this is what you got to do? I got this, and I already taken care of that. How? How? What is going? I'm confused. I don't understand how any of this was even possible as far as that is concerned. That didn't even make no sense. So I'm just like, okay, again, red flag, red flag, red flag, but you ain't seeing that. You ain't trying to hit it. But anyway, they eventually pulled this heifer to the back, and she's still happy and trying to understand what is it hitting for? What is the problem? I don't understand why you got a problem. What is we doing? And I'm just like, girl, no, like everybody tired. Y'all, Fatima went to the back with them, but immediately I feel like she felt like, okay, well, I'm not that close with her. Like, yeah, we friends, but I ain't been friends with her as long as she's been friends with them. So let me excuse myself. And she went outside. And in that moment, I was just like, girl, bye. You could have stayed up in there. Like, you have been very real with her. You have gotten her out of situations that I don't even think Karen would have been able to set it off for her in order to get her out of. I'm sorry. Karen might be one of them people that talk a good game and she's all bark and no bite. I don't know. I'm just saying. Fatima been setting it off. Everything Fatima has ever said, she done backed it up times 1,000. I'm just saying she shouldn't have dismissed herself. She had just as much of a right to be there as the rest of them heifers. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, Karen is really begging and pleading with this heifer to understand that Gary is trash. This man was just squeezing you to death the other day, the other month. Y'all do realize that, because I already brought this up, I had to realize myself that this show is showing stuff like, oh, this happened over the course of a day. All this stuff, all this drama popped off in the course of a day. So I don't even think a good month or two has passed since he squeezed her to death. She almost died and all of this. So I'm just like, girl, just because he went and got a divorce don't mean nothing. Y'all started off wrong. I'm just not understanding why you a lot of people feel like this is something that I need a lot of people to understand. There are people who would probably try to come for me and be like, well, I wasn't in that great of a situation with a person and I started off wrong, but we got together and we working out fine. A lot of people actually get a whole lot of karma, whether the person that they're with no longer cheats and don't cheat on them, even though they was cheating with you, they no longer cheat, but karma really be coming. Case in point, there's this woman that I used to work at my last job. She got with her husband, the person she married to right now. They used to cheat with one another, and they both had significant others. But they always cheated with one another for like 10 years, and then they finally got together, and then they got married. Well, whether he actually cheats or not, or she cheats or not, I don't think either one of them cheat on one another, but every time you look up, karma is constantly slapping them in the face. The most always popping off. Things ain't never going right. They ain't never got enough money going on. They ain't never got, it's always something. And it ain't got nothing to do with the cheating. It's something that is going to hinder you from being as great as you could have been, in my opinion. I always feel like if it ain't the person doing the same thing that they was doing when they was first getting with you, then it's something else that's still going to offset what it was that was going on. I don't care what nobody say. The karma going to happen in one way or another. I don't care what nobody say. So anyway, but yeah, Karen done set it off on herself and told her, ain't nobody got time. You know what we done did. You already know what we done been through before. You done been through this before. Why aren't you thinking? Like, they are literally going back and forth because, they are best friends. And so, of course, Andy gonna sit up there and was like, you don't even know. You don't understand. Y'all, when she said this foolishness, I looked at this heifer like, y'all, I felt like I was right there. I could have slapped this heifer. So she felt like her explaining why this happened and how this happened was so amazing. I looked at this heifer like, girl, don't nobody care. That ain't nothing amazing to be whoop-de-doo over, especially how y'all got together. Don't nobody care. So Andy said, well, you don't understand. You don't understand. When we went on our first date some months ago, keep in mind, like I keep trying to tell y'all, this show, all this stuff is happening over a very slow period of time. When all the cheating and all that stuff first popped off has been months ago. This has not even, all of this from the time she's met him up until this moment has not even been 1 year. Has not even been 1 year. But I digress. So anyway, she was like, you don't understand, on our first date, I told him it would be so amazing if people had surprise weddings just like they do surprise birthday parties. I think that would be so cool. And he remembered. You don't understand. He remembered. That was our first date and he remembered that. And I'm just like, girl, don't nobody care. What is that supposed to prove? I don't understand why it infuriates me. I'm sorry. It infuriates me like in real life. When you have somebody who really is super smart, but they so dumb. Like, they lack common sense and they just decide to look over all the red flags in life. They love trash dudes with a passion. I don't understand why they love these trash dudes that they know ain't no good for them. They smart, but they so dumb. But anyway, y'all, she really said that like she said something. And we was just looking at her like, girl, okay. And I mean, she felt like that was just so romantic. And it was just so everything. Karen got sick and tired of fighting with this heifer and was like, look, I'm not going to be here. I'm leaving. I'm taking this dress off. I'm not even getting undressed in here and redressed to get up out of here. I will get dressed outside. I'm leaving. I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm not watching you do this. We done been there. She tried to talk to her one last time. She was like, Andy, please don't do this. She was like, no, I got to do this. I'm going to go through with this. She was like, really? She was like, okay, you really going to do this? You know how he is. I was there with you. I was there. He squeezed you to death. You almost died. He took you out to the country to leave you and to get you away from everything. He's controlling. She really was reading. But do you think Andy the dummy was listening? No. Like, I can't. I cannot. I just be like, I cannot stand a dumb, smart person. God. And I mean, she straight up told her, look, do what you do. I'm not finna be a part of it. I'm not finna watch you. This is suicide. And so the girls were like, I don't say it. She was like, what are you talking about? It is. And everybody has apparently seen how she's been before. Karen got up out of there and went on by her business. Then Danny and them, they were like, look, we support you. Whatever you want to do what you want to do. Of course, they don't want her to do it, but she grown. And they tried to tell Karen that. They were like, look, she grown. She going to do what she want to do. Y'all, Andy eventually asked them, well, do you think I should do this? And so, she was just like, girls, up to you, do what you do. So they tried to get her ready to do what she was going to do. And they was like, look, no, we don't think it's right. We don't think it's something that you should do. And Sabrina was like, girl, I love you, but no, I don't think this is something you should do. Child, Karen got dressed. And on her way out, she made sure to drop by Gary and read him, say, I don't like you. I don't trust you. If you hurt her again, I got something for that. I was like, ma'am, no. So, of course, she's leaving in a huff. She's very upset. And like I told y'all before, Fatima is outside. Fatima outside smoking. Like, this is a very stressful, annoying, and it's just too much going on. Too much drama going on type of situation. So she out there, she got her little pen. She's, she has her little Danny situation going on. So, like the woman that she is, she walked up to Karen and asked her, was she okay and what's going on? And again, reiterated that she did not know about the two of them, meaning Zach and Karen being a couple. And she wanted to know, like, did he ever bring me up? And she was like, I mean, he said his ex, but I never would allow him to finish because it's like, if we trying to build something, why would I want to hear about an ex? So no, I never knew any details about you. I didn't know nothing. It was what it was. So she offered to let her, smoke her pen. She was like, no, I don't want to smoke anything. It's just too much going on. I don't care about that. So she was like, trust me, like, I just don't want there to be this tension every time we come around each other. And so she was like, well, you ain't got to worry about it. Like, if you didn't do nothing, then what would there be to worry about? And I'm just like, girl, why you want to be petty? And it's crazy because they had the conversation and Karen was like, Zach ain't nothing. Like, she said he ain't S. Y'all know I don't cuss, so it is what it is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so you could tell by Fatima's, reaction that she thinks otherwise. So she was like, you like him? Like, you really think he bout something? She was like, yeah, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I really like him, but, I've let him go. I'm not dealing with him. I didn't do anything. Like, I don't want that drama, so I'm not dealing with it. It is what it is. He loves you, apparently, and he made it plain that he loved you, but that certain things weren't going the way he wanted to go, and it just was what it was. So anyway, this heifer feels some type of way. Eventually, she go ahead and leave. So anyway, y'all, I really was like, please don't let this whole entire episode be them at this lie of a photo shoot because I'm tired. I promise you, it took everything in me to keep going because I was ready to turn it off and be like, I guess I will resume this in the morning because I'm tired of my spirit. So anyway, they finally went somewhere else halfway through the episode. Maurice is at the club and he's asking around, trying to see if anybody knows Q. Y'all know Q was the dude who sat up there and stole Calvin's checks. So the bartender said, yeah, I know him. And he had a little situation with him at one point in time. And that he's known to be a thief. And that when he was with him, he stole his laptop. And he asked him, was it worth it? And he was like, yeah, it was worth it. I was like, what in the world? What kind of tricks was this man doing? Because he's a stripper or whatever. I guess he's a stripper horror. A stripper horror, I guess. I don't know. Because ain't nobody just stripping and that's it. And that's worth them stealing your laptop and money and everything else that's going on. So anyway, he done talking to him and Calvin came in. And so Calvin came in and, they had their little back and forth being petty or whatever. And so this random white woman rolled up and her name is, what? Peggy. I was like, what? Oh my God. Why did Maurice say Peggy? Do y'all watch what is that man's name? I was about to say the wrong person's name. I can't think of his name, y'all. Tony Talks. Man, the way he says certain words, he be killing me. The way he said Peggy is the way that he said it. He had me dying. I was like, not Peggy. But anyway, anytime he asked Peggy anything, this heifer was coming up off too much information too freely for me. I'm like, ma'am, don't nobody have time. You doing the most in your life. So apparently they hook up all the time, and it's very freaky encounters, and there are pretty much no limits, and they just haven't had any men or two men, from what she said, in the mix. And I'm just like, okay, y'all doing a lot. So Calvin trying to get the woman to shut up, so they went and got on the dance floor and started dancing, whatever. Cool. So anyway, y'all, Rodeo is at the house waiting on Danny to get home, and Zach popped up looking for her, and he was gonna leave, but then he thought about it, like, wait a minute, did you cook? He was like, yeah. So he came in and he found out that he cooked some, steaks and potatoes and things, and he was like, man, that made no sense. You be throwing down, you must got a black mama up and through here. And he was listening to bluegrass, Kentucky bluegrass music. Now, I'm the type of person, I listen to some of that, but I'm not hardcore into it. But apparently he lived for it. And Zach is trying to understand, like, does she like this music now too? Like, or whatever. Do you play this when she hit in here? He was like, nah. She don't know how to play this music when she ain't here. And all of that. So they talking, and then he over here tearing the food down. And eventually he asks, how are they doing? And he was like, well, we're doing pretty good. And so he asked, how is his relationship going with Karen? And he was like, we are not together. That is over and done. And so he looked at him like, is it though? That's kind of the way he looked at him. He was like, what? Why are you looking at me like that? Like, you know my situation. And so he was like, nah. The only thing that I do know is that Danny told me that y'all are always on again, off again. So it is what it is. So you can't say it's over and done when y'all always get back together. So he was like, trust me, it's over and done. She never supported me. And I can't get with the type of person that she is. It's just toxic. Yeah, I love her. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie and make it seem like I don't love this woman. But the relationship ain't what it need to be. Child, speaking of Karen, this heifer went to her salon after she left the photo shoot. And so then, she's sitting at the computer desk. Then all of a sudden she hears some moaning. She was like, what is going on? Pam in the back having sex with some random man. And I'm just like, girl, bye. And so she like, well, don't be doing that up in here. And she was on her desk on top of paperwork doing the most. And so she was like, girl, no, I'm not taking nobody back to my house. I don't know him. So she was like, well, I'll see you tomorrow, doing the most. So then she ends up calling Zach from her cell phone. She is still blocked. So she ended up calling from the work phone. She called several times back to back. While he's eating his food, he's trying to eat. And he's like, yeah, I'm not answering that. He didn't know it was her, though. So Rodeo was like, you need to answer that. It could be important. He was like, no, it's not. It's probably a bill collector or something. I owe too much money. That's probably what it is. He was like, after 9 p.m. No, it's not. So eventually he went on ahead and answered the phone. It was Karen. And so she was like, you had me blocked and I understand and I just want to talk to you. And so he was like, what you want to talk about? You can just talk to me on the phone about it. She was like, no, I'm over here at the shop. I need you to come by so I can talk to you face to face. So he was like, I don't understand. Like, whatever. Okay, cool, whatever. I'm not going nowhere yet because she kind of wanted to be nosy because he was like, I'm in the middle of eating. And so she was like, are you alone? And he was like, nah. He told the truth, but he ain't with a woman. So it's like, boy, you doing the most. So he was like, I'm not coming straight over there. When I'm done eating my food, that's when I come over there. So she was like, okay, I'm here. I'll wait. So whatever. Maurice at the club and Q decides to pop up because he does frequent that club from time to time. Old boy told him that he was there. He rolled right up on that fool and was like, I'm going to call the police. You're going to get turned in. You're going to jail. Jail's going to be your home. And he was just like, nah, no, it's not. Man, Maurice politely knocked this fool out and drug him out of the club and had everybody thinking he was drunk. So I guess we are to assume that he's outside of the club and he's called the police and that they are going to pick him up because he indeed was out here thieving, but he was trying to blame his friend Bootsy or whatever the friend's name is, saying that it was all them. They were the ones stealing. But like I said, the bartender said that it is very well known that this man is a thief. He stays stealing. So anyway, back at the photo shoot, Aaron and Aaron and Gary are talking, and they just now find out that all of this stuff is, I'm just like, hey, I don't understand. I'm guessing that Aaron was just trying to keep it where none of his business was out there, because Gary was like, wait a minute, what? You dealing with Karen? He was like, yeah, we kind of dating or whatever. We keeping it light, and I understand that. But yeah, like, because he was kind of trying to be defensive because he was like, yeah, man, she don't like me, whatever. And he didn't want him to try to go there. So he had to let him know, we kind of dating. And so he was like, well, I didn't tell you, just like you didn't tell me that you were dealing with Andy. He was like, well, yeah, you're right. So they talking, and I'm just like, bruh, whatever. I'm tired of all this. He's hopeful that she gonna come out. And then he explains to him that she wants this. This is the situation that she wants. Because, yeah, she did mention that. But that don't mean you are the right man. I am tired. He over here trying to second guess himself, wondering, like, what are you talking about? I know she's the one. He was like, well, yeah, I understand that. But he talking about something, I can't be alone. He was like, you can't be alone, or you don't want to be alone. And he was just like, both. And so he was like, one needs to be greater than the other. Now, if you say that you can't be alone, that's a problem. And when you say you don't want to be alone, that's completely different, because there's room for improvement, and then somebody can come into your life and be that person that you're supposed to be with. And so he's saying that he's definitely positive that Andy is that person for him. And it is what it is. So Fatima then went back on the inside, and she's joined the other ladies, and she's just like, okay, if this is what you want to do, I support you. Everybody's saying the same thing. So again, like I told y'all before, she had already asked the other two ladies, do you think I should do this? And they said, no. And she's about to get up out of her chair to go outside and face Gary for this foolishness. And then I'm just like, okay, girl, what is going on here? She stood up and she looking crazy. I'm like, is this half a finna blackout? Like, what is going on? Then she all of a sudden said, I can't do this. Girl, you should have told him no from the jump. You should have turned him down when you first met him. Girl, I don't understand. Like, and that's the end of the episode, y'all. But y'all know how I do. So I'm just like, Heifer, you just stupid. You stupid. You living for this man to a degree that is ridiculous. You literally went to school all those years and obtained your license to practice law. You almost had that taken away from you. You almost had your job taken away from you. Your home was taken away from you, and they had to give it back to you after you had to fight to get it back and prove that you weren't in on his shenanigans with his wife. Why are you living for him? He took you out into the deep country to where there would be no way for you to be able to get back and forth to work. And that was his point, because he made up in his mind that you would no longer be working. There was no conversation had with you. There was no conversation had with anybody except him. And he sat up there and bought a house, or had a house built from the ground up for y'all. And I'm just like, she doesn't seem like a country girl. I'm not understanding what's going on here, and why you thought going far out into the country was going to be something that she wanted. I'm not understanding. I'm just like, this is stupid. I just can't. And y'all already know the last bit of stuff that was going on. The ex-wife rolling up on her at work and getting beat down and having to fight her. The ex-wife stealing his key and busting up in her apartment, trying to kill both of them. Like, and before that, he's squeezing you to death because you acted like you finally had some sense knocked into you and that you didn't want to deal with him no more. But no, you're still a dummy. And you still talk about some, oh no, I want this. Yes, I want this marriage. I want it. And my thing is this. Andy has to be acting out of desperation. I am all for somebody who loves love and wants to be loved and want to be married and all that other stuff. But why you want to set it off for somebody who is clearly not the one? I understand you might think that your biological clock is ticking and that you're getting a little bit too old or whatever. Some people feel like, oh no, if I don't get married by this age, I'm going to look crazy out here in these streets. Like, I'm just like, what is it? Like, girl, bye. He is not the one. Every time you look up, this man is controlling. We have easily been able to infer that whatever situation you had going on with another dude when you was in college was controlling. And probably just as bad as what Gary has going on with you now, but you living for it. Y'all, I can't. This helpful get on my nerves. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review of Tyler Perry's Sistas. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so, and give this video a thumbs up. Y'all have a good night. Bye.